98.
Welcome to another 98% podcast tonight with my co-hosts, Josh Berger and David, the Professor Schell. We will be interviewing Sarah Collins-McKinney. Enjoy.
All right, I am Sarah Collins-McKinney. I am from Dallas, Texas. I am part of the Texas Armwrestling League, and I'm happy to be on the show with you guys.
Well, thank you for coming.
Great to have you.
Welcome.
So how long have you been arm wrestling?
Professionally, since I was 16.
Wow.
But I started when I was a kid. I was about 8 years old, and my dad got me into it. And I competed. My first tournament was in Texas State. It was in Texarkana, Arkansas. And I went and I won the heavyweight division. And Tanya Whitworth, formerly Tanya Todd, won the lightweight. So we did overalls, and she kicked my butt. I thought I was going to win, and I didn't. So that was my first tournament. And after that, I just kind of, 16, 17, 18, didn't really care. And then I jumped back into it here and there, mostly special needs events, charity events, those types of things. And just in the last year have I really started training for the sport specifically and trying to grow the women of the sport.
That's awesome. We're trying to do that here too.
What do you do when you are not, pulling? What's your, job, profession?
I work for lawyers, and basically I'm a settlement specialist. I settle cases outside of court. I have a family. I'm married. I've been married 15 years. I have a 6-year-old son that keeps me pretty busy with soccer, and just taking care of the house, trying to train as much as I can between our busy schedules.
Yeah.
A soccer mom who arm wrestles.
Yeah.
That's a bonus.
So if you ever have a confrontation with the other soccer moms, you can settle it the usual way, arm wrestle.
I was like, yeah, we can arm wrestle this out, no problem.
So with the women's league, how do you go about recruiting it? I mean, obviously, like we said earlier, it's probably a lot easier being a woman to, get other women into it than it is a guy. But do you have any, do you do anything specific to try to involve women in the community or show them what it is and stuff?
I have created Arm Wrestle Hers. And basically what that is kind of a brand. Eventually I'm going to make leggings and t-shirts, and I already have one t-shirt made from the all ladies event, but I created a group in Facebook, and it's a ladies only group. There's no men. And that's where all the lady arm wrestlers are. So far, we have 136 ladies in there.
Wow.
And that's kind of where I post practices. I'll post motivational things. I will post when the tournaments are to try to gather more ladies at one tournament. Now we're all in this group together. We can kind of coordinate and go, all right, let's all go to this one. Or, hey, are you guys going to this one? And kind of know how many women are going to be there. And then when I go to other tournaments, I went to Lubbock, we had our one of our qualifiers for the Texas Arm Wrestling League, and I just kind of walked around the crowd. And we got 2 pullers that's never pulled before to come in and actually compete in the tournament. And one of the ones that I brought in actually won it.
That's awesome.
I think her name, she's going to kill me. I know her name's Trinity, but I forgot her last name. And she come in and she won it. So she's going to start training and going to practices and getting more involved in it. I was very proud of her.
That's awesome. I love it when someone can just walk in off the street and do
That's
well
awesome.
in the tournament.
She's got,
yeah, that's great.
but that's the easiest way for me is once there's ladies there, you can kind of see, who would want to do it, kind of really try to talk them into it, get them on the table and practice a little bit before, kind of teach them the safety measures behind it, and just be supportive of it.
Right.
And a lot of ladies will get in, some won't, some will still tell me no, but I've had a lot of success doing it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the one picture you have up of the group from the Texas tournament, and it looked like you had a nice variety of different, not only different weights, but different ages. You know, it did look like you did have a few women that were, you know, quote, older, you know, quote unquote. And I was wondering, is you know, is my impression correct that that you do, and do you, you know, do you have yeah, I'm looking at it because, of course, I'm coming in as an older person. Do you have women that are, you know, would be considered upper middle age or higher that do join in with you?
Absolutely. Grandma Rose. She
Right.
is made the sport. We love her. She's had a lot of success in building the women and growing and promoting the excuse me, the sport. And she was a national champion, I think in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. And now she's jumped back into it, and she's having a lot of fun with it. We absolutely love her in
That's
the
awesome.
community.
Never bad.
Which picture are you looking at? Was it from Garland or was it the all ladies event?
I think it was the all ladies event. Let's see if I can find things here, but
Stalker.
yeah, let's see. But no, it was see, it was, you know, it was from your, you know, your Facebook page, and let's see, you know, naturally I'm not going to be able to. Oh, well, yeah. I don't know if
It won't show up with the background.
But
Yeah.
what it is, so it's yeah, it's the one that you posted on.
And just from what I saw, but I'm pretty sure it's from the all ladies event.
Yeah, the June 2nd. I'm so proud of this picture. So many beautiful and strong women all together for a tournament.
Yes, that was after the ladies event on May 31st.
Right. Okay. Yes, that's the one I'm. Yeah, this is my first time as ever using one of these virtual backgrounds, and actually my first time interviewing, although I was the guinea pig when Ryan started doing the interviewing. You know, luckily you weren't on that one because he hammed it up.
Hey, that's what happens. Live and learn.
No, he told me ignore what I'm doing, just ignore it, and I'll. And so he was like eating a banana and picking his nose and doing all sorts of stuff, and you know, just, you know, basically to be humorous, but whatever.
We went a different direction after that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Josh, you wanted to ask her a question about that chat room.
Yeah. About the
Yeah.
the arm wrestling uncensored match. Since you are so involved with the women's sports, you know, I mean, we had the debacle on Arm Wrestling Uncensored with the womanizer Robert Kelly.
Yeah.
Did you get involved with that thread at all? Did that trigger you?
Well, which one? Which thread was it? Was it the comment about the women belong in the kitchen, or that comment?
Yeah. Under Raymond Cote's, let's try to get women to show out for arm wrestling. Why don't they do it? That comment, and then he put, well, because they're not comfortable because there's no kitchen.
Yeah, I think I started that whole debacle, and I did not mean to. Like I said, when I commented in that group, I didn't realize it was an uncensored group, and it's a lot of people joking and just having fun, right? So
Right.
when I first read it, I was like, is he serious right now? Like, let me just chime in here, because I have worked closely with these ladies, and a lot of ladies, you guys don't see what they say, right? In this group there, just before that, there was a post that was, you know, why women don't go to tournaments. And it's like, yeah, we're tired of these comments. They're inappropriate comments. You know, they don't think we need to lift, or we look like a guy if we lift, you know, so we just don't want to be around that negativity, you know, so it's discouraging, especially for the upcoming pullers that understand these types of groups, or don't understand how the process works.
Right.
So, well, that's why I chimed in and made the comment that I did. And I tagged a couple of my good friends, Brooke and Annie, and then it just,
snowball.
my phone battery died because the comments wouldn't stop.
That's hilarious.
Well, because Robert, I don't think he is serious, but with all that drama that came with it, there was a wonderful event that kind of came to be, which is the sandwich match, which is between Robert the Womanizer Kelly and Danielle the Health Raiser Llewellyn. And she's probably going to just crush this guy publicly on camera. And so do you think that's a good thing? Do you think that's awesome? I love it. But do you think it's cool for to support
I
the women?
think if she is 100% okay with it and he's 100% okay with it, more power to them. If they want to do this super match, like I said, like I told Robert, I'm going to support the ladies. That's what I'm here for. And she's going to beat him.
Yeah,
She's
yes,
going
she
to
is.
tear it.
And I'm pretty sure almost 90% that it was her idea to have the winner have the loser make the winner a sandwich after the match. To
I
kind
bet.
of really assert that dominance and
That's
let her
awesome.
know that it's a joke. And the kitchen, she understood it was all for fun, but still, we're here to show you that we can arm wrestle, So I think it's cool to show a great attitude about it and really bring some exposure to the sport. So I'm proud of Danielle for doing it.
Yeah. And she's like good friends with, like, she's part of our group, like our little 98%, like, messenger group and stuff. And so it's fun to see her like start getting some recognition and, and I'm sure you've seen like her training videos and stuff. She's a beast,
She is a beast,
Yeah,
yes.
she's pretty cool.
Yeah, at one time we used to just have these chat things where we just say, okay, at 9 o'clock tonight, here's the link. Anybody wants to go on, just BS, kind of like a 10-state BS session, and she would jump on that occasionally. We haven't done that recently, but and we'll probably go back to that.
Yeah.
Got a lot of potential. She's going to do a lot of great things. I met her for the first time at the all ladies event, and we pulled on the table. Looking forward to her coming back to Texas for the next all ladies event.
Nice. How'd she feel? Strong?
She's strong. She's
Good,
very.
'cause I saw a video of her beating Gary Roberts in the hook. So I'm like, I hook. So I'm like, maybe I have a chance to get Gary Roberts in the hook.
She's got a strong look.
Yeah, she looks like she does for sure.
And your next all ladies event will be when?
So we're going to do the official announcement. Texas State is October 2nd. I'm looking probably February for the all ladies event, but nothing has been set in stone, and everything will be finalized after our Texas State on October 2nd.
Most likely in Texas as well.
It'll be, we had it in San Antonio last year. I'm going to do it in Dallas this year.
Nice.
Yeah, we have found we'd really like to expand and get out of the area, but we found it, well, as I'm sure you're discovering, the logistics of you running something from 300 miles away is just, in fact, San Antonio to Dallas, maybe we're already 300 miles away, but Texas being as large as it is, but certainly easier if you're doing it in the home territory.
I'm going to try to change it every year, between, the largest cities, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. And, last year was San Antonio, this year, Dallas, next year, possibly Houston, and just try to run it the best I can. I've got a really good team behind me with the Texas Arm Wrestling League. They're very supportive, and they're helping do a lot of great things for the ladies.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about their league down there. So that's pretty cool.
Yep, they are awesome.
That's good. Now, what would you say? You said like it's hard because like the women in your group talking about like comments being made when they go to tournaments. So what would you say to the guys that are making those comments?
It's all fun and games, and everybody, wants to have fun, and that's what it's about. It's not saying don't have fun. I'm just saying be mindful of the comments, be respectful, especially, if you don't know someone or they're upcoming, they're brand new to the sport, you don't want to run them off. It's like,
right.
Okay, you have all these amateur pullers, right? And that's what we talked about earlier. A lot of the pullers are newer pullers coming up. You're 98%. If you took those amateur pullers and you did nothing but smash them on the table, told them they're worthless, or you're not strong, or, you're whatever, they're not going to want to come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think there was an era in arm wrestling where I think that might have been happening a lot more than it is today. And it seems like there's a gap where we're no new arm wrestlers for a little while. And I think that might have a lot to do with it.
And it's possible. I honestly, I have thick skin,
Yeah.
some people don't.
Right.
But there's a point of joking and there's a point of taking it far, and just from what the other ladies have said, and they're just a lot of inappropriate comments, and be respectful to ladies, be supportive. They work hard too, and they do it while they have kids and a family, and it's hard, full-time jobs, kids, and trying to train.
I actually prefer to watch the women's matches, like at Keystones up here. When I stopped watching the pros go at it, and I walked over to the women's because they had some like battles. It was, I thought it was cool. I don't know. It was the first time where I really focused on the matches, and it was just almost every match was like a battle. I don't know if it's because maybe there's like they're closer in strength or what, but like it just seemed like most of the matches were like really good matches, where I feel like a lot of the guys were just like, most of them were just like either a flash pin or slip to the straps and then a pin. And it just seemed more exciting to watch the women pull.
The women on the best matches, and I'm not the only one that said that. You know, they were.
I agree too. I think we've been spoiled a bit because we have like Sabrina, and she got to pull Miss Top Roll, at that little Battle of the Stashes event. And those two, I mean, they're like in half break arm, like
screaming.
I mean, it's awesome. It's
that was the most exciting match of the day.
And those two are going to war. So we've been spoiled by some really, really good women's matches in the Northeast for real.
Yeah. Like we're kind of lucky because like we're, like in the Northeast, like we're based out of Philly. So like New York is 2 hours up. Harrisburg, where Paul Lynn and all them are, is like 2 hours west. And then Baltimore is 2 hours south. And like, there's just a lot of arm wrestlers in our area. So it's, we're fortunate in that way where, you throw a tournament, and even if it's a small local tournament, it's not unheard of to get like anywhere from 60 to 100 people to come to a small little tournament.
That's good.
So it's pretty neat. And we do have, there are a lot of
women.
women.
We need to increase the women. We really need, really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to remind the California people that we probably have more clubs and pullers in Pennsylvania than any state in the country. But they tend to disagree. But sorry, they're wrong. But and what I was wondering, just to segue, you were talking about how the male pullers treat the women. I was wondering, as outsiders, as non-pullers, I'm sure if you have a woman that talks about, oh, she's going to go to the gym, she's going to lift, you get the non-lifters that, oh my God, why would you want to do that? You're going to be muscle bound. You're not going to be feminine anymore. You have these big muscles, guys won't like it, blah, blah, blah. Is there a similar sort of sentiment among outsiders, non-pullers, that look at women arm wrestlers and say, and essentially, what in hell are you doing that for? That's not ladylike, in effect.
I've never experienced that myself. If anything, I have been told, wow, that's cool. Or, even at my job, I went through an arm wrestle to every one of the guys in there and beat all the guys. And they were just very shocked about it. But I've never had anyone directly tell me, you're not acting ladylike.
Right.
And these comments that other ladies have experienced, I have not experienced. Nobody has ever said those things to me. But again, I just stepped back into this, a year ago, and things have changed drastically since, I was really into the sport in 2015, 2016. And then I took a break. I had a baby and took a break. So I just, I wouldn't say it's all the guys. I 95% of the arm wrestlers support the women, but you have those 1 or 2, 3 or 4 that make everyone else look bad, So it is what it is. It's that way in all sports.
Yeah.
A couple of bad apples can spoil the bunch for sure.
Right.
Well, it's just kind of interesting because we have one of our female pullers up here, Jessie Androvic, who's actually has now moved to North Carolina to be with her fiance. But she tells the story that when she was some years ago, this is probably in the the teens sometime, she was managing a pizza shop and turned around one day and noticed all her male, coworkers had disappeared. And it's like, okay, where are they all? Went into the back room and here they're arm wrestling. And she's telling them, oh, you're doing it all wrong. And they gave her the old, oh yeah, little lady, what the hell do you know about it? You know anything about arm wrestling? And she could say, well, yes, my dad is world champion or was world champion. And that kind of shut them up. And now they're, she's now engaged to one of them, but we kind of kid how, she met him.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd love, like, it's hard up here because like it's like hit or miss with the women. Like either they all show up or they all don't show up. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to find a way where we can just increase, you know, the involvement of women up here in some way, or help the women get more women involved, you know.
And it's tough already because it's already hard to get men involved. I mean, how many guys are like, I don't want to hurt my elbow, I don't want to be sore all day.
Yeah.
I built these beautiful biceps, I don't want to tear a bicep pulling. You know, a lot of those bodybuilder guys don't want to snap their stuff up trying a new sport. You know, so it's hard to get anybody, let alone
that is true.
already a huge minority of the sport to join. So
Yeah.
Is your husband an arm wrestler?
He is not. I don't let him on the table because his style, he gets in break arm position and he scares. He pulled at our last qualifier in Lubbock. And he was like, I'm just going to pull this one tournament. Just let me do it. I'm like, fine. He gets up there and he gets in an arm break position. I'm like, you're never getting back on the table again.
Mhm.
But if he breaks his arm, you know what I mean? He can't work. So,
Right. That's
Right.
what my wife says to me all the time. She's like, "You're an idiot."
Mhm.
I'm like, well, it's fun.
What,
he has I share the majority of that actually.
Yeah. I try to get my wife to do the majority of it, but
I have OCD.
yeah,
He can do it, but he didn't do it right, and I have to go back and do it anyway.
that's what my wife says. She'll like, I'll do the dishes and then I'll come in the kitchen and she's redoing them. And I'm like, what's
every time.
yeah. I'm like, what? She's like, you missed a spot. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
Jesus.
you probably do that deliberately, Ryan.
No, then I wouldn't do them in the first place.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's funny because, like, you know, my wife has no interest in arm wrestling at all, but she's been pretty supportive of me doing it, other than she's just like, don't break your arm, you know, like, because then if I can't work, I'm screwed too. So you know, but I guess, you know, that's a risk everybody takes. It could happen, you know. I don't think I'm strong enough to break my own arm. Although Dave has broken his arm despite his age, and he's still arm wrestling.
Mhm.
So that, you know, that's crazy to me.
Still pulling in break arm position.
Still pulling, yeah, still.
Well, except not with the arm I broke. I'm working on the other one now.
Oh man.
I used to get in that bad position because I would go into this awkward, I don't know what I was doing. And then I was like, okay, no more, I no more, we're going to change my style. And I completely changed it up. So
Yeah.
It's no more break arm position for me either.
I mean, I see guys get in it that are like pros, and it's like, I mean, obviously they're probably conditioned to be in that position but still, it's like one fluke, and you know, I don't know. I don't even press or anything like that. Just, you know, I've heard of too many people breaking their arms in a press and this and that. So, but I'm fairly new. I just hit a year, so I'm avoiding anything that's dangerous and still just, you know, trying to stay safe when I'm out there.
Yeah, I've certainly been in some questionable spots. And just to throw out there like a technical thing I don't think the flop wrist is quite as bad as the people that try to like stay dead flat and go sideways. I think the dead flat creates so much more pressure on this way. If you're flopped, you're almost in just a reverse hook. So it shortens up that lever. Anyway, but it's like, man, sometimes those break arm positions are really uglier looking than they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I have been at tournaments when Bart Wood does the instruction at the beginning, and he comes right out and says, look, you novices, you amateurs, we're going to be stopping you. You know, you pros, hey, you're on your own. We know some of you like to get in these weird positions, and, you know, do it, you know, and, you know, you're responsible for yourself.
Yeah, I saw at Keystones, Bart stopped a couple matches because, you know, an amateur was in a bad position, just stopped it and made him
Right.
restart. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you probably didn't see him stop a pro.
No. And one thing I thought was cool, I don't know if you guys do anything like this down there. James Reed started on the novice tables. He made the pads slightly higher so that they're pinning a little higher than usual to prevent, you know, arm breaks, basically, to make it a little bit safer.
Heard of that. I didn't know that he did that.
Yeah, he's been doing it at Keystones, and I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody really noticed the difference, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He hasn't had a novice break an arm since he started doing that. So I don't know if it helps or not, but it seems, according to him, that it's been helping. So he's just sticking with it.
Hey,
And, you know,
that's good.
and he
That's
started
smart. I
the
like that.
semi-pro division. What do you think
Naturally.
about that? Like, so he had novice, amateur, semi-pro, then pro, which he's been doing now, and it's been actually successful because the higher end amateurs are doing amateur and semi-pro, and then, you know, the lower end pros are doing semi-pro and pro, and then the novice are doing novice and amateur. So it's like it created more people to pull in two classes, kind of. And it kind of, I don't know, it almost felt like it leveled the playing field a little, because sometimes you have an amateur who is maybe forced to go into pro too soon, and they're just losing for 10 years, or, you know what I mean? And here we got some guys that say, like, you know, if you got 3 wins in an amateur class with 5 or more guys, you know, you should go to pro. But some of those guys, you know, it might have been a tournament where there weren't that many people or not that many great amateurs, and they go to pro and then they're just discouraged. And they're like pressured to go to pro.
I agree with the way he's doing that. I think it's a good build-up. It creates very good matches, strength level, skill level. Something I'm trying to do with the women, get amateur classes. We will be at Texas State this year having amateur classes for ladies.
That's
and
great.
then the all ladies event, we had amateur classes as well, along with changing the weight classes. You know, forever it's been 0 to 140 and 141 plus, or 0 to 150 and 151 plus. And, you know, the Texas Arm Wrestling League is going to implement 4 weight classes, 3 to 4. Everything's still being finalized. It'll be announced after state, you know, once everything is completed. But 3 to 4 weight classes for the new season for the ladies.
Yeah.
I
See,
think that's
we
great.
play
It's a great
around with
one.
it. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's great. That's okay. It creates a lot more balance in the weight class. It's going to be more consistent through each division. Where the same thing with novice or amateur to pro, there was a lot of pros still competing in amateur.
Yeah.
And so that semi-pro kind of created that middle ground, so it kept all the newer pros out of amateur. So same thing with women's. I'm sure they get tired if there's 3 women that show up. One of them's Michelle Dugan, and the other are amateur arm wrestlers that are in the same class. And it's tough to go up there and just get smashed right away if that's all you have to compete against. So the more classes, the better. If you can fill them out, I think it's great.
Yeah, well, we've had several tournaments here where we have had 3 classes, but quite frankly, we haven't had enough people. So in the end, we often end up combining them anyway. And then at a tournament 2 weeks ago, there were only 3 women, 2 very much beginners. Well, in fact, one was a first timer, and then Sabrina Marashevsky. And so Sabrina said, "May I pull in the men's amateur?" And we said, "I don't see why not." So she did. So she pulled
Probably did well.
and the men's.
She placed, didn't she?
Well, she
With one hand?
No, she came in 3rd out of 3 on the one. It was a very small class, but she did a good account of herself. But no, she did not. I don't think she won anything in the men's.
Gotcha.
We run into this. I don't know if you run into this, but, like, you know, we're new to the whole tournament game. So when we get feedback, like, we try to make changes to accommodate groups of people, or, like, you know, like we'll add weight classes if someone was like, "Hey, what about this?" Or
Change the age of masters.
Yeah, and then you change it and you get complaints anyway, because then the people that are used to it the other way complain. It's like you can't keep everybody happy. So
you'll never be able to please everybody. And you know, a wise person once told me, you know, try to focus on, you know, the majority of, you know, 80%. You're going to please maybe 80%. There's always going to be that 20% that's, you know, unhappy, and it's impossible to make everyone happy. You just do the best you can, and you know, fair as possible.
You ever doubt the Texas, Oklahoma area to go to tournaments? For example, are you going to be going to the IFA thing in Orlando in September?
I am not. I was not able to get off work to attend that. I am going to Longview this week. The charity, or there's a event to help raise money for the special needs tournament in October. That's going on October 16th. And then I will be going to Fallen Heroes October 23rd. I think it's either Kansas City or Missouri. Go there. I have a super match there. And then November, I'm going to Georgia with Anthony Laterio. There's going to be a belt match for the 154, right? I think he said there's going to be 8 girls for that belt. So I'm going to fly out there and see if I can win that belt.
That's awesome.
I know we're going to have some people from this area that are going down to that one in Beaufort, Georgia.
We have a young girl, Madison Walker, who's been like killing it up here. And I know next year she wants to start traveling. And I think it'd be cool for her to go to one of your events, because she's just such a nice person, and her dad and her family, her mom, like they're so supportive, like they're there screaming and pumping her up. And we're all very supportive of her, and it'd be cool to see her like go down south to some of the tournaments, but it'd be even cooler to see her compete in the women's only tournament.
Yeah,
I will definitely. She's a part of the group for
cool.
the Arm Wrestle Hearst page, and I'll be posting all the in there. I'm going to try to post it in May. Well, this year, I think I woke up one day and went, I want to have an all ladies tournament. Let's do it in the next 30 days. I don't know if it was quite 30 days.
Right.
But still, it was like very rushed,
Yeah.
like, this is what I want to do. We're going to do it. Got it together. We paid out $500. I think it was like $5,250 and $100. Don't quote me on those prices. I don't remember what it was, but we paid out good money for the all ladies tournament.
That's awesome.
Very important to do that for me. And this year I'm going to plan it a lot better.
Yeah.
And announce it a lot sooner so everybody can have time to make travel plans, and hopefully we have a pretty good turnout this year or for 2022.
Well, feel free to throw your flyers or anything in our chat group, our 98% group.
Absolutely.
If you need a flyer done, let me know. I'm happy to help with that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Josh is a master at flyers and memes. But thank you for coming on and talking with us, because we probably only have 3 followers that are going to see this.
So just to help hype the Danielle Llewellyn Robert Kelly match, you said he refused to come pull you, right?
I wouldn't say he refused to come pull me. He just, I don't remember the exact comment that was made. I'd have to go find it.
Okay,
But he arm wrestling is like, he commented on one of mine. He's like, never mind, I don't want to arm wrestle you anymore.
Well, fair enough. But what I'm hoping is maybe he would come down and have a practice with you. You can get some footage of you kind of training with him for Danielle. Maybe we can get him to come visit you.
We can talk about it. I don't think he's too far from me, actually.
Okay, I'll see if I can talk to him. Maybe he'll make the trip to you. I'll see what we can do.
If we keep using the word refused, maybe he'll do it.
Yeah, if he refused, yes.
Yeah. Like, you don't want to refuse again, do you?
Not dodging, pulling her, are you?
I'll practice with him. I'll pull with him. And I may be going to Oklahoma into September. I got to look and see I got a lot of events coming up.
Yeah, I'm not sure when they're even having their match yet. So maybe you can even help out and make it happen at one of yours. Who knows?
I can check with the other directors at the TAL, see what we can make happen.
Cool.
I know
Awesome.
Our last event this year is Texas State.
Yeah.
And I think Danielle said she wouldn't be able to make it. I thought I saw a comment about that. I'm not 100% sure though.
Gotcha.
Have you met our guy, Roger Learned, and his girlfriend, Jennifer?
I think I met them at Gnarly Gar in May.
They were there.
Yep.
I think I met them, yes.
That's cool. Yeah, they've been traveling all around to and it's so, I love seeing his fiance. She does not arm wrestle, but she is probably one of the most supportive arm wrestling wives. She travels with them, she takes pictures, she lets us use her pictures. She's just like super supportive, and I love seeing them go. Like, he's originally from Texas, so he likes going down there to pull in his home state. So but it's just cool to see like a couple like that, just being so, yeah,
You need
and
that
he's
support.
doing well. Yeah, he's
And
pulling
they drive. They do not fly from Pennsylvania to Texas. They drive to Texas, and they drive home from Texas. And it's just they're probably the only people other than me and maybe Joe Jarlick that puts more miles on the car to go to arm wrestling things.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of flying. I prefer to drive, but I don't have the time to do all that driving nor the patience. So
yeah.
if I can drive, I will. But if it's more than 4 or 5 hours, I'm flying.
Yeah, I'd fall asleep behind the wheel and die probably.
Yeah, actually, he does fall asleep behind the wheel, and we're browbeating him to get a sleep test. But is there something that you thought we would ask you that we did not, or is there something you want to tell the world, or at least our small corner of it, that we ask, or something on just a general all-purpose open question?
Other than trying to be more supportive of the ladies, I hope I can help you guys grow the ladies, build the sport. If I can do anything to help you, let me know. If you have any ladies that are not part of the Arm Wrestle Hers group, let them know to go on and join the group. And
yeah, we will definitely. I didn't even know it existed. Now that I know, I will refer every woman to that group.
Every woman, that's where a lot of information is posted. Yeah. And guys, not to get offended, that's just a place for the ladies to go. And
I think it's great.
Is Sue Fisher in that group? I'll tell her to join.
I don't know. I think there's 136, 138 members in there, but I don't have them memorized.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anything we can do to help, just let us know. Like, we're here to build the sport. So that's like our main goal, and more women, more men, whatever, just, better turnouts at tournaments, whatever we can do to get more people involved. So, if you ever need help from the North, we're here.
I appreciate that. Hopefully I can make it out to one of your events. I haven't been up in that area before, so it'd be a nice trip.
Yeah, let us know. Like, we could find someone for you to do like a match with or something, or
Absolutely. I did this year, but 2022 I do plan on traveling more so than I did this year. Gotcha. But I'm booked up with all of these. That big match is coming up in Georgia. That's what I'm really training for, that belt match. And then I won't in December with the holidays.
Yeah, right.
So what our next thing possibly is Winter Slam in March that we might be having.
Yeah.
So that gives you plenty of time if we have that going on.
Absolutely, it actually would. That's in between my ladies event and then the central qualifier that I'll be doing in Texas. So that might actually work out.
Cool.
Oh, great.
And we're hoping to have a firm date on that by the end of September.
Yeah.
I was hesitant even bringing it up because we haven't really firmed anything up yet. So
we have like a Northeast coalition up here. So all the promoters in the whole Northeast like submit their dates, and we try to not step on each other's toes or make sure that they're make sure they're far enough away from each other, because before that it was like people were trying to screw each other on purpose, or and it just was crazy. So there's a few guys that didn't join and just do their own thing and piss people off for no reason, but the majority of us try to like spread out the events and big practices so that we're not like killing each other.
That's good.
But
yeah,
you probably don't.
It's a good problem to have if there's this much arm wrestling going on at the same place.
Well, I would imagine in the South, especially Texas, like things are more spread out to where you probably don't have to worry about like someone stepping on your toes with a tournament in the same state.
Now, Drillick seems to complain about it in the Midwest a lot.
Oh, really?
No,
he complains about everything.
Texas. And I think with COVID, a lot more events started coming to Texas.
Yeah.
Because Texas opened first. So there was a lot to pick from. And I don't know if there's a lot of events that anybody stepped on each other's toes, but there's just been a lot of events, period. So hopefully it keeps going. I love the sport. I love all the events. I wish I could attend every one of them.
Yeah, I'll say that's a big thing I think we have in common is like Texas and us, whatever reason, in '98 was just like, that's our joke about the protest series is we were protesting COVID. Like, if it's more than 6 people, that was always our shtick with it. So I think the TAL and '98 have a lot in common where we were just kind of like, forget it, we're arm wrestling. Forget COVID, we're going to get her done. So
part of it too was Philadelphia was like kind of strict and on and off with the COVID stuff. So we named it the protest series. So if they showed up to shut us down, we were like, you can't shut down a protest. So that was our loophole.
Well, and that's because the New York underground tournament got flagged down a couple times. They had to shut their tournament and reschedule because somebody blew a whistle saying they were going to congregate with too many people because of COVID regulations.
Yeah. But you congregate with a protest and COVID's not going to bother them at all.
Well, that's the dumbest thing. But we figured we'll use that as a way to sneak in there, But they didn't end up showing up because we threw it at a police motorcycle club and the cops like shut the street down for us. And they were like, the city's not going to come here and shut it down. Who are they going to have enforce it? Us. So we got lucky with that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks again for coming on, and hopefully we didn't waste too much of your time. And,
for your support, I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, and I'll put some links under this on the YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel or just the Facebook group?
I know she left. She said see ya. Oh.
On.
But I'll put some links to it so that people can go join easily.
Okay.
98.